Welcome to Chasing Winners. Peter O'Neill, David Shortte and Jesse Erenshaw are about to join you to preview the meeting from Mandurah in the Peel tonight. They will also look in depth at the meeting from Cannington tomorrow night. The boys will also be joined by Ryan Levitsky, who will provide his best over the 2 nights of chasing. Let the chase begin.
And a very good morning, everyone, and welcome along to Chasing Winners. Looking forward to these 2 big programs tonight at Mandurah, with the Mandurah Oaks final being the feature. Of course, last year we had that controversy with the race conducted up at Northam and then abandoned, and then... Sorry,
there was a no race. A greyhound ran back through the field.
Yeah, so a no race declared, but of course West on Sadie and our Seabrook winning the 2 years prior to that, and Star Book was successful back in 2020. So first of all, good morning to you, Jesse.
Good morning, Pete. Always a pleasure to be here. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you never interrupt me. And speaking of winners, David Shortte, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Pete. Jesse, everyone up nice and early with us on this Friday morning for Chasing Winners. Hope you're all doing particularly well. Really looking forward to the weekend of chasing upcoming. It should be a cracking final tonight there. The Oaks over the 488, and some really nice performances handed in last week. If it's anything like last week's Derby final, we're in for an absolute treat.
And we spoke during the week, Shorty, about the fact that the Sandgroper form has continued across at Warrnambool, and the Sharps, while they might have finished second with Morton in the Warrnambool Cup, they're obviously travelling okay because they're on a plane and heading across to Paris.
Oh, oui. Very nice indeed for them. I tell you, Morton was very good there on Wednesday night. Gee, this is a carnival that appeals to me, Pete, the Warrnambool Carnival. We've seen it and heard it here on TAB radio over the last few days, and I think this hand in hand, and it's, I guess, not exactly the same. Harness doesn't sort of play a huge part, but the greyhounds are always big there on Warrnambool Carnival week, and it was a great Warrnambool Cup final. Matlock for Michelle Malia took out the feature, but second, third and fourth all went around in the Sandgroper. Morton was runner-up. Trooper Tears finished in third spot, and Fernando Phil finished in fourth spot. So a really good, high-quality Group 2 final. And again, second, third and fourth all out of the Sandgroper. It would certainly pay to just keep following that form, Pete.
And just before we get into this program tonight at Mandurah, I've got organised with Peter Howe, the racing manager from Racing and Wagering Western Australia, or Races WA, to come down on Monday morning. He'll be joining us on Greyhound Gossip. There's a fair bit to talk about with now we've got a date, the closure of Cannington at the end of May, and it'll be interesting what the new track is going to, what changes are going to be made, and what work is going to happen there. And I also noted that the Nationals, the WA Sprint and Distance Championship, have been locked in to be run at Northam this year, which is an interesting move.
It is interesting, particularly given most of the city class chasing is likely to be taking part at Mandurah through that period of time, Pete. But I'm sure Pete Howell will be able to explain to you the reasoning behind that. Gut feel for me initially is that the 488 metre start point's a very abrupt starting point, and on that corner there you don't get a lot of room to wind up, whereas with the 509 metre start point you do have the whole straight to get yourself into a position and get rolling. So that may be part of the reasoning behind it, but I'll be interested and tuned in on Monday to get Peter Howe's thoughts there. We've got roughly a month left to go of chasing at Cannington, and then listening to Pete yesterday on the Sports Daily with Digby and Tim. Northam will go Monday, Thursday, and then Mandurah will pick up the remainder of the meeting. So it'll be very busy down there at Mandurah, chasing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, as well as trials. So it's going to be a lot of workload on the coastal circuit.
It certainly is.
Just quickly, where are the Nationals going to be held this year?
Adelaide.
South Australia. Angle Park.
Angle Park, yeah. So looking forward to that. Let's get into this program tonight. That's what we're here for, and we're paying you guys the big dollars for, and I'm sitting here for free. The favourite is with number 1, Mrs. Cropley, in the first at $2.50. Do you like this program tonight?
I really like this program tonight, Pete. I'll go in with a pretty high confidence rating, and we're getting off to a flyer. I think $2.50 is theft, to be honest. I had this greyhound marked in the red, Mrs. Cropley. This whole litter have shown well above average ability early on in their career. And Mrs. Cropley, take out that last start performance from box number 8, where it was a bit of a horror show. Go on the 3 prior efforts, winning the maiden in 17.03, then hummed around in a novice in 16.95. Then off the red was an a nice winner over Emotional Damage in 17.19. If it steps, which it's likely to do off the inside, and runs anywhere around that 17 flat mark, the other dogs are going to have to improve significantly to get close to Mrs. Cropley. I just thought this was a put-in take-out to kick off the night. So 1 on top. From number 3, West on Bambi, who is certainly a capable type. I would expect it to be finishing the race off really strongly in a race like this. Number 8, Thumbs Up Noah, has been very consistent for trainer Dave Brown. It's likely to hit the frame once again. And I'll round it out with number 5, Coda Herrera, who's in a purple patch of form. But 1, 3, 8 and 5, very keen on the red to get the night off to a winning start.
Mrs. Cropley, I think, should be too good. I've made it one of my best bets on the card from box number 1. For second, 3, West on Bambi, dropping down in distance, should improve a fair bit. For third, 6, Hurry Henry, greyhound who was racing well in novice class company, has struggled a little bit when they're stepping up to graded company, but was a good second 2 back. And for fourth, I'll throw in 4, Marge's Dynasty, 1, 3, 6 and 4, race number 1.
All right, so we agree in the first. I'm going Mrs. Cropley as well from box number 1 to continue on with her winning form. Number 2 for second, Tully's Gem, 3, West on Bambi and 5, Coda Herrera, 1, 2, 3, 5, race number 1. I'm sure a lot of the punters will be waiting for Shorty's multi. He's been on fire of late, got it last Friday night again, and hopefully he'll get it again tonight. Race number 2, it's almost a certain way to start off, building a bank for the weekend. Race 2, the favourite here is with Big Rodney at $2.70, just ahead of Maxwell Smart at $2.80. I thought Big Rodney would be very hard to beat. A greyhound who's had a couple of starts at Cannington recently, and I think goes a little bit better here down at Mandurah. I'm going to be putting him on top from number 1, Security Guard. I like the fact that he'll get plenty of galloping room early. Number 4, Maxwell Smart, will need to jump, and number 6, Whole Shot, 3, 1, 4 and 6, Shorty.
I'm with you, Pete. I think this greyhound looks really well placed tonight. Big Rodney, you need only go back 3 starts ago when this greyhound went around in maiden company, but it was impressive on that occasion. Copped a few checks in the run, was still able to clock 27.38. It's a time standard that sees you winning this race more often than not. Just a matter of getting the start right. And while Big Rodney's not exactly electric out of the box, he's generally safe, and there's not a pile of speed in this race. So I thought Big Rodney should be able to take a forward position in the run, and from there be very, very hard to beat. So it's on top. From number 4, Maxwell Smart, another greyhound that's got its share of ability. It's been going around in tougher races. Number 7 in Glasgow Boys, a greyhound that's got early pace, should be able to put itself into the mix. And 8, Oreo Apprentice is another that, while recent numerical form might not look great, it was a good winner going back a few starts ago. If it can get across, can give some cheek. Number 6 is not out of it either, their Whole Shot, but I'm pretty keen. Big Rodney, and anybody that missed the interview yesterday, Tim and Digby spoke to Chris House. They've got a pile of really good winning chances this weekend, and when they grilled Chris on who his best for the weekend was, he said he'll be backing Big Rodney as his best bet from their kennel for the weekend. So I thought that was a nice push as well. 3, 4, 7, 8.
I'll go 3, 4, 1, 2. The inside division, Big Rodney on top, was good winner 3 back and 27.38 in maiden class company. For second, number 4, Maxwell Smart. This is a big grade dropper, and he's running some handy times at Cannington over the 5:20. Wouldn't surprise to see him bob up. For third, number 2, All Grunt. He runs a stack of placings over this trip. And for fourth, I'll throw in number 1 in Security Guard. So we'll go 3, 4, 2 and 1, race number 2.
Race number 3, Jesse's over the 400 metres. Vacant box in 5. Favourite, Another James at $1.90.
I think he's going to be pretty hard to beat. Another one from this talented Seneca Hazelhurst litter. Was not disgraced behind Sunset Tyson in the heat of the Mandurah Derby. Finished down the track. He's probably a little bit outclassed, and he was giving up a lot of experience to some of those chasers. I've got Another James on top. I think it's going to be pretty hard to beat. From 4, Kenya Gulfstream, really rocketed home late in a maiden to win in 22.29. For third, number 2, Fix McGee's racing well in this company. And for fourth, I'll throw in 8 on the Jacks. It was a good maiden winner at Cannington last start from an inside draw. 1, 4, 2, 8, race number 3.
I'm sticking fat with Ian Bunny here and making this a special. I think he's going to have a very good night tonight. Both greyhounds, Mrs. Cropley and Another James, have got the pace to cash in on their inside draws tonight. I think Another James, that effort from the inside draw 2 back, beaten less than 4 lengths behind Sunset Tyson, it's a really good form reference for this sort of grade of race. I think the dog's got well above average ability, and from the draw, I think it'll make its own luck and run them along up top. So 1 on top, Another James. From number 4, Kenya Gulfstream, as Jesse alluded to. I think Kenya Gulfstream, certainly a very capable type. That time on the clock, 22.29, was very good last time out. It does loom as a threat. 3, Taming the Tiger. Kirsty Moore's having a good run with her little team at the moment, and this dog was good last week behind Fancy That Fred, beaten less than a length. It can certainly hit the frame again. And 2, Figs McGee hasn't done too much long in its brief career to date. 1, 4, 3 and 2. Pretty keen though, another James, Pete.
1, 4, 2 and 3, exactly the same. Shorty, you're a very good judge, and I'm going to stick with you. So 1, 4, 2 and 3, another James on top as well. Hazelhurst was a good performer.
Was a good bread and butter style campaigner,
Yeah.
ran some good races
Loves
over
the 490.
It did indeed, yeah. It was very rare that it wasn't sort of in the top 3 or 4 right throughout the course of its career, and that mix with Seneca's clearly worked really well. These dogs are really young, Pete. They're actually eligible to run in the Mandurah Derby again next year, by all reports, which it's the first time I've heard of that being available, but they went in, I think, only about 15 months of age this time around.
Yeah,
17 months. So they were 16 months is the start. They were 17 months. So they'll just scrape in, as I understand it, for a crack at the Mandurah Derby in 12 months' time, which is extraordinary. I've never seen it in all of my time.
They could have 30 or 40 starts by then.
They could have 50.
They could be free-for-all chasers by then.
I think you'll find at least 2 or 3 of these will be absolutely top-grade dogs by then.
Oh, well, good luck to Ian Bunny. He's got some nice ones in his care. Now, the scratchings are through from Samara. The reserves are out of race 1. Go down to... in fact, the reserves are out of races 7 and 8 as well. So they're the only changes. Thanks, Samara, for sending that information through. And looking forward to the 4th on the program and what you boys are tipping here. A mixed 4 and 5 series heat, and the favourite in a fairly open market is Rare Speed at 3.10 Shorty. West on Smokies at 3.20.
This is a deep race for a mixed grade 4 and 5. There's a couple of dogs on the downgrade here that look really well suited, and that is the greyhound that's at the top of the market, number 5 in Rare Speed. Really good record, track and trip, 9 starts, 3 wins, 4 placings. You sort of go back 5 and 6 runs ago in a grade 4 race. Rare Speed was able to show excellent early pace and just blew away a very good field in 22.28, really good time standard. Since then has gone around against the likes of Barrio Beast, Sunset Frazier, Mashal Wave. Last time out was ugly behind Idle a while, but Rare Speed, a greyhound that loves the track and trip, can show good early pace and has a great box 5 record. It's a unique box to have a good record from, but 7 attempts from the draw for 3 wins and 2 placings. Its most winning box to this point in time, even better than box 1. So Rare Speed on top from 7. West on Smoky, very capable, has gone as quick as 22.16. Something like that here would see it very hard to defeat. Number 1, Solid Tank, is going to get a lovely run here with Sunset Blackhawk drawn on its outside. It'll be wanting to get up the track and give Solid Tank a really good look at the arm. And I'll go with number 3, Kisses for Chaos. Not a lovely draw for it, drawn outside Sunset Blackhawk, but if it can avoid it somehow, it'll be nice and strong late over the 400 metres. 5-7-1-3.
I'll go 1-5-2-4. 1 Solid Tank on top. I think we're getting a pretty good price for a greyhound. He hasn't drawn box 1 for a while. He's had some horror draws of late. He's showing early speed. Might be able to hold up and cause a bit of an upset here at a decent price. I'm happy to go with Solid Tank on top. From number 5, Rare Speed. Graham, he does have a good record from box number 5. For 3rd, 2 Sunset Blackhawk, who's racing well in harder company. And for 4th, I'll throw in 4 Min Smiley, who was an eye-catching run last week behind Kenya Kraken. 1, 5, 2 and 4, race number 4.
Yeah, I'm going with Sunset Blackhawk for David Hoppy, greyhound who put a couple of wins together back in middle and late March and didn't have a lot of luck at his next couple, and then I thought it was a really good run last start behind Kenya Kraken. I like her chances. Number 2 from number 5, which is Rare Speed. Number 7, West on Smoky. And 3 in Kisses for Chaos, 2, 5, 7 and 3. Interesting runner, Coulter Bale, dropping back to this trip, Shorty.
Absolutely, and it's another that'll be super strong at the back end of this race. It's a much shorter trip than what we've probably expected to see Coulter Bale over in recent times. But sometimes these stayers with a bit of a change-up, they can get back and charge home and get a little bit of confidence back. And this dog ran sub-30 only a couple of starts ago behind Eugenius. Might be a nice sort of dog to anchor up for third and fourth in trifectas and first fours. If they happen to jam up, a lot of these dogs do their best work leading. Only one or two will be able to find that role. This could be a dog that could fill out third or fourth spot in a race like this and help to really boost up those novelties, Pete.
Let's go to race number 5, Sunset Ali, the brother of Sunset Frazier, who ran second in that Sandgroper that we mentioned earlier on in this program, and has come up as the favourite at $2.25, Jesse.
That's the way I've gone. Sunset Ali on top. He's dropping down in class. He was racing in free-for-alls and heats of that Sprinters Plate Series. He's got a good personal best at 22.04 here. I think he's going to be pretty hard to beat. From number 8, What a Ripper, a greyhound who's really progressing nicely through the grades. You go back 2 starts ago from box 1, recorded at 22.02. Just going to be interesting to see how he goes from box 8. He's yet to win from 3 attempts, which is a little bit surprising considering his ability, and he's been racing in easier races. For third, 7 West on Odie, a proven free-for-all chaser in the past. He drops, he's really well graded for this affair. And for fourth, I'll throw in 4 Outlaw McGraw, 3, 8, 7 and 4, race 5.
3, 8, 7 and 4 for Jesse. I thought it was the best Quinella of the night, 8 and 3 in this race. But I'm going to lean towards number 8, What a Ripper. Greyhound that hits this race in a genuine purple patch. It's won 4 of its last 5 starts. Granted, they've been in easier grades, but gee, the times have all been very good. 22, 20, 20, 02 and 18. Got excellent early pace. While it hasn't won from box 8, it's been placed 2 of 3, and from box 7, it's had 3 wins and a placing. So the wide draw, I think the way that it's been beginning of late, room to zoom could be the key. What a Ripper to get across and be hard to run down. From number 3, Sunset Ali, dropping in class is ideal. They do look the key too. 2, Danny Heffernan will get back and charge home late. It's going well. And 1, Brain Teaser. 8, 3, 2 and 1.
I'll go 3, 8, 7 and 6 Sunset Ali to be able to defeat What a Ripper. Number 7, West on Odie, and number 6, King Shot. 3, 8, 7, 6 in race number 5, first leg of our quaddie. Let's go to race number 6 over the 652 metres. Sage Tennille from $2.25 out to $2.30, the favourite in race number 6 on the program. I'm going to be tipping her tonight, Shorty, because it's start number 50, and I've got respect for her. It's start number, she's got a losing sequence though of 14. If she doesn't win tonight, there's some questions that Cody and the connections will obviously be asking themselves, because she's had a few opportunities of late. She's been trialling really well on her own, put her into a field condition, back down to Mandurah. Maybe she can improve here, and I hope she does. I'm putting her on top. I've got the respect for the national sprint champion. 3, Stevie Manelli, a greyhound who's got a good strike rate of this track and distance. Number 8, Speed Freak, and 7, Pepper Grinder, 1, 3, 8 and 7. But if she doesn't win tonight, obviously Cody will be scratching his head.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I thought there was a glimmer 3 starts ago when it was runner-up behind Penny Magic in that 715-metre race. I thought that was a solid performance. But, yeah, for a girl that's as talented as what she is, I know that Cody's banging his head against a brick wall. It's been so frustrating for him knowing how much ability she's got, but we haven't been able to see that in recent times. This really does look to be a great opportunity, though. Box 1, over the 652 metres. If she steps and gets a good look at the arm, there'll be no excuses. I just need to see it, Pete. I just need to see Sage Tennille back in the winners list before I can pile in, especially at $2.30. I'll team up with number 3, Stevie Manelli, who's won 3 of 5 track and trip. You know what you're going to get with Stevie. It's not always putting herself up on top of the speed, but she's really strong late. She should be right there in the finish. From number 1, Sage Tennille, if she gets the start right, look, she could run close to record time. It's the great unknown. Number 8 in Speed Freak goes really well, track and trip, and 7 Pepper Grind has been going well for Corey White. 3, 1, 8, 7.
I'll go 7, 3, 5 and 8, getting a bit of value here with Pepper Grinder. Was a good third behind Soul Survivor. I think it's been absolutely begging for a step up to 652. It's a good in-between distance before that 715. I think Pepper Grinder can be out and run some of these talented chasers down. For second, 3, Stephen Manelli, looking like the early leader. Greyhound who's got a good record of the trip, like Shorty alluded to. For third, 5, Zyland Bale, be interesting. Doesn't really quite handle the 715, back down to 652 on a big one-turn track. He'll probably improve, and he's looking at a long losing sequence. And for fourth, I'll throw in 8, Speed Freak, who is a former track record holder over the trip as well. 7, 3, 5 and 8, race 6.
The Mandurah Oaks is race number 7, $30,000 event listed race. David Hobby with 4 runners. He's drawn boxes 1, 2 and 3. He has the equal favourite Sunset Serengeti in 2, Wise Barra at $3.10. Are you going for the David Hobby or one of the David Hobby 4, Shorty, or do you think Wise Barra or one of the other runners can upset them?
Yeah, I'm going with Sunset Serengeti, 4 for 4, track and distance. The effort to win while it wasn't there on the clock last week, go back and watch this replay. Sunset Serengeti was in a completely hopeless position. Punters that teamed up with Sunset Serengeti at the Shorts last week would have been forgiven for ripping up tickets. So there would have been a little bit of sticky tape going around to put the tickets back together to collect with Sunset Serengeti. You only get, as a rule, one crack at these sort of age-restricted series, and to all intents and purposes, after being a great contender going in, it looked like Sunset Serengeti's hopes were dashed. But the way that she knuckled down and just made a play to put herself into a position on that home corner and then charge home, I thought it was mighty. Prior runs here were elite, 27.06, 02 and 33. Generally a pretty safe beginner. I think Sunset Serengeti, Sunset Lasso will begin on the inside. Sunset Hornet likes to use a bit of the circuit in 3. Wise Barra can use a bit of the circuit in 4. I think that's going to give Sunset Serengeti the room she requires to punch through into a spot. If she gets that spot and runs around that 27 flat mark, I don't think they'll be beating it. So 2 on top, I'll make her a special from number 4, Wise Barra. Likely to use a little bit of the track. Sunset Serengeti's going to have the inside advantage, though. I'll then go with number 1, Sunset Lasso, who's going to get that lovely run up along the inside, and including number 8, Shy Emoji. 2, 4, 1 and 8 for me in race number 7.
I'm with Sunset Serengeti on top. I think she's going to get a really nice draw here with Sunset Lasso and Sunset Hornet probably working for the lead with Wise Barra. They're going to be 3 wide into that corner. They're going to cover a lot of extra ground. She's going to be probing the fence, and I think she'll run them down. For second one, Sunset Lasso, probably most likely going to hold out Wise Barra. For third, 3, Sunset Hornet, and for fourth, 4, Wise Barra. I think the inside division are the main players here. 2, 1, 3 and 4, race 7.
I'm going to go with Wise Barra for Chris Holtz. His kennel's been in good form of late, and I think that she'll go very, very close. It's a really deep race as you'd expect for the Mandurah Oaks. Sunset Serengeti for second, number 3 Sunset Hornet, 1 Sunset Lasso, 4, 2, 3 and 1. The last time David Hobby won this race was back in 2013 with Sharon Manelli, who was the mother of Moment to Jive.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And they've gone on to produce some nice types on the way through. That's really surprising for me that Dave hasn't had a Mandurah Oaks winner in over a decade, particularly given how many high-quality young bitches he's had over that period of time, and so many of them have gone on to be amazing mums as well.
They certainly have. Let's go to race number 8. This is a free-for-all over the 400 metres, and a good betting race here with equal favourites, Our Benson and Get a Beer, both at $3.50, Jesse.
I'm going with Our Benson on top just from the draw. It was a good winner of a free-for-all or of an open heat to 3 back in 22.04. Just needs to repeat that performance, and I think it's going to be pretty hard to beat. From 7 in Sunset Callisto, upset the kennelmate Crumble Benelli last week. Was a good run from a wide draw. For third, number 2, Get a Beer. And for fourth, I'll throw in 6, Idle a While. It was a good run at Cannington in a free-for-all as well. Really solid race. 1, 7, 2 and 6, race 8.
Yeah, I'm like Jesse, just with a box advantage going with number 1, Our Benson. It's a real acid test, though. It comes up against a absolutely stacked lineup here, and the key's going to be the start. We did see from box 3 here at this circuit, 6:20, the early split 3 back when beating Sunset Ali. If it can produce something similar here and get the start right, Our Benson can punch up and cash in on the draw. From number 2, Get a Beer, who's racing pretty well. Back to an inside draw here. Back to Mandurah, looks suitable. 7, Sunset Callisto. Excellent performance last week, running down Crumble Manelli. 8, Black Salmon's well boxed out wide, likes to use a bit of the circuit. And 6, Idle a While was a stunning win last week from the very same draw at Cannington for Max Julian. It ran 21.60, so it has to come somewhere there on the radar. 1, 2, 7 and 8 for me in race number 8.
7, 1, 2 and 5. I like the fact that he's drawn out wide. He's got a good record, as you mentioned. Black Salmon will give him galloping room as well. So Sunset Callisto, huge run last week. 1, Our Benson for second. 2, Get a Beer and 5, Barrio B. 7, 1, 2 and 5 in race number 8. To race number 9 on the program over the 488 metres. And Curate's Egg has been well supported since we started the program, Shorty. I said that he was at $3. Well, that's gone. $2.40.
Yeah, I did say pre-game there that around that 3 mark is where I thought it might open up. It hasn't lasted long, Pete. I hope that you had your bowlers ready to go and put your bets on for you while we've been on air here. $2.40 now is sort of getting into probably around where I thought it might start. It's the way to support early would suggest it's going to start even shorter than that tonight. And the win last start, to be fair, was outstanding. From the inside draw, gave nothing else a chance, 22 and 32. I note that this dog has trialled over this distance in the past as well, Pete, and went pretty quick. I think it was around that 27, sort of 12 or 13 range.
Yep.
That's good for a race like this. If Curate's Egg can step, I think it'll take all of the beating. From number 8, Erasmus Duke, racing really well at the moment. 7 in Indigo Ruby. They've both got a bit of early pace. And then I didn't have much between 6, 1 and 2. So 4, 8, 7 and 6 for me in the last.
I'll go 4, 1, 6, 8 for Curate's Egg on top. Was a good win last week from an inside draw. He has seen the trip. He did that satisfactory trial in 27-14 after having an extended period on the sidelines. For second number 1 in Trevor's Gift, a greyhound who doesn't have a bad record from box number 1, knows how to run a stack of placings. For third, 6, All About Rock, and for fourth, I'll throw an 8, Erasmus Duke. 4, 1, 6, 8 in race number 9.
Yeah, he didn't pull up well after his Perth Cup heat where he ran fourth behind Sneaky Emoji. He started favourite in that race and he was like a trial last week. The field wasn't strong, but his time was good and he'll strip fitter tonight. Vacant box on his outside. He only needs a couple of steps to be able to build momentum, and I think he'll win. 4, Curate's Egg from number 7, Indigo Ruby. Number 1, Trevor's Gift. 8, Erasmus Duke. 4, 7, 1 and 8 in race number 9.
Pete, the big question is, has Sharon spent all the winnings yet?
She has.
Yes, yeah. Very nice. I note, did hear you say last week she was just making a small inquiry as to when the prize money will be dropping into the account. So she's obviously had her eyeballs on a purse or a handbag or some new shoes or something along those lines. Pete, the retail world's going nicely.
I was the only one down trackside with Lukey Townsend to have a photo with Apple Crumble, the second leg of the double, and that was the only question she wanted to know. How much was the prize money? And it was good too with the owner's bonus. 6,500, I think, for the winning check, and then another 500 jumps in for the West.
Very nice.
West spread. So, yeah, very, very nice indeed. This man knows all about breeding locally and getting the money. Is Ryan Levitsky caught up with Ryan earlier on in the week, and he certainly is doing very, very well, and he'll be finding a winner or two tonight, hopefully. Do you agree with Curate's Egg in the last, Ryan? Good morning.
Yeah, I have tipped Curate's Egg, and I've gone with Sunset Serengeti in the Oaks. So, hopefully from that point of view, Wise Barrow doesn't get an uncontested lead. I think Sunset Serengeti's quite a special dog.
Okay, what's your best tonight, please?
Race 1, number 1, Mrs. Cropley, $2.50 looks good. Interesting litter. They're all very quick, and they're all very young. Mrs. Cropley, another James, Fancy That Fred, Kentish Lass won last night, and Rosie Brown. Just a good litter to keep an eye on for Ian Bunny. They all turned 2 in November, so there's a lot of improvement still to come. Race 5, number 8, What a Ripper, and race 6, number 1, Sage Tennille. Box 1's a big, big help for a dog like Sage Tennille. I think she'll settle in the first 3 and be too good.
Have you done a quaddie tonight?
No, but I'd be anchoring Sage Tennille.
Okay, let's go to tomorrow night, Cannington, starting off just after 7 o'clock. What's your best tomorrow, please?
I like race 2, number 3, Apple Crumble. Race 4, number 2, Sunset Nightjar Each Way. And race 10, number 1, Timon Lane. Quaddie, 3 in each leg, 1, 3, 4, into 2, 3, 7, into 2, 3, 5, into 2, 7, 8.
Okay, anything Sunday, Monday? Have you done the quaddie? You go this?
Yep, just read that one out.
Sunday,
yep.
Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah, Key Moment's back from a toe injury. Up against After Show and Simplicity and Ruby's Rocket, but has box 1. He will go well, Key Moment. Race 12, number 1 at Northam. And I liked one on Tuesday as well, Rubidium. Race 10, number 4, Rubidium to bounce back in the Masters.
Good on you, mate. Good calling tonight. We're looking forward to the coverage of the Mandurah Oaks.
Okay, Hawthorn a value too. I think Hawthorn can win.
We're just throwing in football tips now as well.
Yep, why not?
Can West Coast win?
Who are they playing?
Essendon.
Oh, anything's possible. Anything's possible after that derby.
Have a good day.
See ya.
Ryan Levitsky joining us with his thoughts on tonight's program at Mandurah. Okay, best bet and a quaddie, please, Shorty.
I've got 4 tonight, Pete. Race 1, number 1, Mrs. Cropley. Race 3, number 1, Another James. Race 5, number 8, What a Ripper. And the 3 and 8, Quinella, Look Lock Time. And I'll go race 7, number 2, Sunset Serengeti. Quaddie-wise, 3 and 8, leg 1. 1, 3, 7, 8, leg 2. 1, 2 and 4, leg 3. Home with 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 and 8. It's 144 for a full unit. Just under $15 will get you 10%.
Hello, race 1, number 1, Mrs. Cropley. Race 2, number 3, Big Rodney. And race 6, number 7, Peppergrana is a good value play there in that 652-metre affair. For the quaddie, we'll go 3, 7, 8 the first leg, 5, 7, 8 the second leg, 1, 2, 3, 4 the third leg, 1, 2, 7 the final leg there, Pete.
Let's go to race number 1 at Cannington on Saturday nights over the 380 metres. No market up with Tab Touch just yet. I'll be tipping West on Halo. Kelly Buckwell's doing a really good job with the team that she has, and this greyhound was a nice winner in good time 3 starts back, and then unlucky at her next 2. I think she can break back into the winners list. 4 Enjoyable. Greyhound has been knocking on the door up here in town. Number 7 Wise Emperor, and 5 in Shades of Kuna. 3, 4, 7 and 5.
Good race to start off the program there on a Saturday night out at headquarters. I was sort of tossing up between a couple of greyhounds in this race. I've ended up landing on number 4 Enjoyable, who I thought was a very good effort last week behind the dog that we were really keen on and made one of our best bets on the program in Cherry Blue. I think that's pretty good form for a race like this. So I'll stick with Enjoyable. Shows good early pace. She'll be able to charge over to the rail and be pretty hard to beat from there. From number 7, Wise Emperor, who will get a bit of room out there to operate. 3, West on Halo, and 8, Hello Bailey. 4, 7, 3 and 8 for me in the first.
I'll go 7, 4, 2, 3. 7 Wise Emperor on top, coming off a really good maiden win in 21.84. Was from an inside draw, steps out to box number 7, but there's not a lot of early speed in this race. I think he can play a pretty prominent role. For second, number 4 Enjoyable. She's run well her last 2 starts over the trip. For third, 2 Send It You Know, and for fourth, 3 West on Halo. I think actually one on Wednesday, Pete, as well. That won't show up in your form guides.
Did she?
I think she does. She took it the first, didn't she?
Okay, I'll have to have a look at that.
You called the meeting, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
It did. It won from box number 8 in 22.20, sat second and defeated In Her Mood by 4 3/4 lengths.
All right, so she can still go around then. So she's
yes.
got one more novice to go. Just broken my pen as well, so I'm having a good day. Let's go to race number 2 on the program. This is the race I'm interested in hearing from you boys about. Apple Crumble from $4 into $3.80. Toad $2.65 out to $2.75. I thought Toad was a special last week, and then after what I saw and the fact that Apple Crumble was off and running, I've got a different opinion. I think Apple Crumble can actually, will lead Toad again, so therefore I've got a question mark about him. But the fact that jumps off the page at me, Shorty, is the 29.75 3 runs ago from a similar draw. So I'm tipping him on top. 3 Apple Crumble I think will lead, and if there's trouble behind him, he'll be in front for a long way. 1 Connie Keeping and 2 Such a Vibe. 4, 3, 1 and 2. His winning time last week is 30 and 15. It's a winning time's a winning time, but he still needs to go quicker, I think.
Yes, I wouldn't disagree with that. Has gone as quick as 30.01 though, and I think around that 30 flat mark will be very competitive in this race. Up front's a good spot to be. I'm leaning towards Apple Crumble to make it another big weekend for you, Pete. So 3 on top. From number 4, Toad, the win from a middle draw 3 back was outstanding, but on that occasion it really pinged the traps running 5.45. It needs to do that to get across Apple Crumble, who ran that very same split and has gone as quick as 5.41, only 4 back. So Apple Crumble should have the tactical advantage early in the race. That could prove key in this particular affair. I'll then include number 6 in Scramble Button and number 7 Racing Barbie. Wouldn't leave the 1 out for novelties either from the good draw. I think Connie Keeping can fill out tries and first fours, but I'll go 3, 4, 6 and 7 in the second.
I'll go 4, 3, 6, 2, 4 Toad on top. He's a very fast chaser. He has some question marks because he did take 9 starts to win that maiden. You'd think a greyhound with his ability to go bang, bang pretty quickly. Was outgunned and heat of the Derby at Mandurah. Last week was, to be honest, a little bit disappointing behind Apple Crumble. For second, number 3, Apple Crumble. I don't think the time was overly that slow, Pete, considering the average winning time is only 30 and 10 for a novice, so he's within a length of that. It was a good win last week from a wide draw. Steps into box number 3. For third, number 6 in Scramble Button. This greyhound ran a cracking first sectional 2 back, 5.41 in a novice from a middle draw. And for fourth, I'll throw into Such a Vibe. 4-3-6-2, race number 2.
Can you imagine the promotion, Shorty, especially early on in the card, if Apple Crumble won, Greyhounds WA said free Apple Crumble for everyone if he wins?
Oh, they'd be charging in, Pete. They'd be charging in to go and get involved. I reckon I'd even drive out there if that was the case. Look, I think it's a super chance. I'm delighted to see you've tipped so much into this sport over such a long period of time, and it's hard to get nice greyhounds going well, but at the moment you've got 2 there. I hope this run can continue on for many, many months.
I hope they can as well, because Sharon is spending up at the moment. Race number 3, free for all over the 520. Good race here. Sunset Frazier, $2.10, was run down by Hinto last week. No reason why he can't run him down again, but I'll be sticking with Sunset Frazier because, as we know, he's going to be in front for a long period of time. Number 8, Hinto, he got across very easily last week, didn't he? And he sat really close. Number 4 for third, Sunset Mirage, and 3, Runaway to Mars. 2, 8, 4 and 3 in race number 3.
I'm going to team up with a rinse and repeat job with Hinto here, Pete. This dog's never missed a place from 12 starts from box 8, 2 wins and 10 placings. It's a tremendous record over a significant period of time, and most of them have been in top grade. So, I tip your hat to the Robertsons. They've done an amazing job with this dog. He's racked up just shy of 300,000, being one of the most consistent dogs in work for a very long period of time. And if Hinto can be that dog that's sort of camped there second or third with clear running, again, it's going to be the dog in the rear view mirror of Sunset Frazier charging home hard. At the price, I'm happy enough to have sort of 3 by 7 or 4 by 6 style play, and I don't think you'll miss. Clear Dangers, number 2, Sunset Frazier. I think they look a really nice quinella in the race, including number 3, Sunset Runaway to Mars, for third, and 4 in Sunset Mirage. Also, just quickly want to shout out, and I'll include one next best, but throwing in trifectas and first fours. This was a mighty training effort last week from Ricky Valenti. This dog had been away from the track for more than 6 months, fronted up there in the last Friday night at Mandurah, and returned as a winner in 27-26. Well done to you, Rick. And I noted that it was about 11 into 6 late, so I'm tipping that him and his kennel followers got something out of that particular exercise as well. It's much tougher here in this race on Saturday night, but great to see this dog back, and credit to the training performance there of Rick Valenti. 8, 2, 3 and 4.
I'll go 2, 4, 8 and 5, 2. Sunset Frazier on top. He's run second in his last 3 and he's been on the pace. I think he's going to be pretty hard to beat here. If there's a greyhound to run him down, I thought Sunset Mirage was a massive run last week. Went 29.74, was on speed. For third, number 8 in Hinto. And for fourth, 5, Inside Scoop. You talk about Hinto, what a terrific job he's done. But Inside Scoop, he flies under the radar. He's earned over $100,000 in stake money. And, of course, he's regally bred, being a little brother to the great Curateek there, Pete. 2, 4, 8 and 5.
It just reminds me how important it is to keep greyhounds fit and healthy. 2, 8, 4 and 3 for me in race number 3 on the program. Race 4 is regularly named race, the Shane Williams, the Toot Toot over the 520 metres. Have you had a race named after you yet?
I don't think they do owners, only trainers.
They don't do a... Shorty should get one.
Get you one
He's
too,
a Hall
Pete.
of Famer, Shorty, in the future. And, these ring-ins come in from the eastern states, like Shane Williams, who's been here for 2 years, and he gets a race named after him. Good morning, Shane. Number 8, Daddy's Girl's a favourite here at $3.40. Are you going with Daddy's Girl, Shorty?
I am. It's no walk in the park, though. I did like the win last time out, though, from a wide draw in 29.71. It was an absolute carbon copy of the start prior, where it came from box 4. This is a tougher lineup, but it does get room to zoom and should be able to pop itself right up there. There'll be lots of speed pushing up underneath, though, here. Number 2, Sunset Nightjar, huge chance to be up on top of the speed and hard to get past. 1 Ace in Kuna returned with a stunning win last time out. It was in a much easier race, but 29.76, new PB. That was pretty clever training from the Chili man, that as well. And I'll include number 4, Sunset Peppy, who's also a really good dog. It doesn't end there. Greyhounds like a Little Bit Bitter, Gimli, Stylish in Black, Di Carmody's got it going well. It's a really deep race. 8, 2, 1, 4.
Yeah, it's amazing, some of these provincial 5s. You'd think they're a city free-for-all some days. 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, Daddy's Girl on top. Group 2 winner over East. She's won her last 2 in good time. Steps up in class. I think she's going to be pretty talented chaser in the future, and I think she's going to get the job done, even from box 8, where she hasn't won yet from 5 starts. For second, number 2 in Sunset Nitro, Greyhound is probably going to be leading early. For third, 4 Sunset Pepe, who wasn't disgraced in the final last week. And for fourth, I'll throw in 6 Gimli. 8-2-4-6, race number 4.
Shane's listening as well. Good morning. Daddy's girl on top for me as well. At least he took it in the right way, Shorty. She's a very talented chaser, and I like the fact that she's drawn out wide. She's won a couple of times from box number 7. Number 4 for second, Sunset Pepe. 2 Sunset Nightjar, and 6 in Gimli, who was placed on Wednesday. 8, 4, 2 and 6 in race number 4. Race number 5 over the 520 metres, and the favourite here, equal favourite, Sunset Comanche, West on Booney at $3.20. Gee, this is a good race.
Certainly is. I'm going to go with just the dog that is a proven winner, and it's our mate West on Booney. 35 starts, 16 wins, 9 placings. He's back to the 500 off a free-for-all win over the 600 last week. He's won 4 of his last 5 starts. They've been over 600 and 715 metres. The only time we've seen it over the sprint was behind Runaway to Mars, beaten less than a length. Inside draws, no problem. Just a winner. I'm happy to be with West on Booney on a tough night. Made it one of the better bets. From number 4, Flying Frida, the kennel mate. Again, interesting comments from Chris House yesterday on the Sports Daily with Tim and Digby. She's trialled really well in the build-up to this race, Chris suggested, and he also said she's got the early advantage over West on Booney, and he sort of almost put the slows on West on Booney, which wasn't music to my ears, given I'd already had my thoughts on the race, but you have to respect that. 1 Sunset Comanche's going really well for Dave Hobby. They look a really sort of big 3 in this race, and the dog, as the rank outsider of this field, I thought it was eye-catching last week to run third, Lady Dior. It was a $43 chance last week from the same draw. Box 6 ran 30 and 13. It's a dog, again, you might like to include as the rank outsider of the field to help your trifectas and first fours. 3, 4, 1 and 6.
I'll go 3, 4, 7 and 1. West on Booney's pretty well graded here. I think he won the Group 2 All-Stars last year, and he's coming into a City 5. Off a good free-for-all win after showing a bit of early dash, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for him. Full field, probably the biggest question mark, how he's going to navigate him, but he's got a lot of talent. For second, at number 4, Flying Freedom. We thought these two were going to clash in a Galaxy final a couple months ago, and here they are in a City 5. For third, 7, Maximum Kerner. Was a good run last week behind Sunset Mirage from a wide draw. And for fourth, I'll throw in 1, Sunset Comanche. 3, 4, 7, 1, race number 5.
Are you surprised Sunset Comanche's equal favourite, Shorty?
No, not really. This dog's got a big motor. We have seen it run some pretty slick times on the way through. I personally haven't got a stack between 1, 3 and 4. I think Flying Frida, off what Chris had sort of said there, will probably trim up in the build-up to Saturday night, and I don't think there'll be all that much between these 3 in betting by the time they jump.
I just don't think he's got the speed to go with them and use box number 1. I'm going with number 3, West on Booney as well. The fact that he's had that run back, or a couple of runs back, is important. So 3, West on Booney. From number 4, Flying Frida. I'm not quite sure and as confident as Chris that she can cross Booney. Number 1, Sunset Comanche, and 7, Maximum Kerner. 3, 4, 1, 7 in race number 5. Race 6 over the 600 metres. The favourite here is with number 3, West on Nugget at $3. Could be a big night for Chris, and this greyhound has been knocking on the door, placed at his last 2 over the 700, drops back to the 600 metres. I think he's a real play here. In fact, I've said that I was going with West on Nugget. I've actually just looked at my tips, Shorty, and I've actually tipped Carter Axelrod on top. So I'm going well, aren't I? I better let you go first so I can actually regroup.
That's okay. I'll straighten things up and team up with Argyle Queen here. Last 2 starts over the longer distance has been run down in the last 2 or 3 strides of the race by Chloe Ant and Sky Manelli. Back to the 600 metres here, where it has won 2 of 5. It's been showing very good early pace. Just needs to get out of these boxes cleanly, and if it leads up, will take a power of running down. From number 7, Carter Axelrod. How can you punch holes in this greyhound's form? 6 starts, track and trip, 4 wins, 2 placings, won his last 4 in a row, including that track record run over the 652 metres there at Mandurah. The only small query I had was box 7 in a race where there are a couple of speedy beginners drawn inside. It's a massive chance though, and the price is enticing at $4.60. Number 3, West on Nugget. probably just a little below its best at its last couple of starts over the longer distance. It'll be nice and strong to the line here over this 600-metre trip. If it can sit somewhere near them, we'll be charging home over the concluding stages. And I'll also include number 2, Penny Magic, who's been racing pretty well for the Chile man. This is another really deep race. Jamie Keeping can hit the frame from the inside draw. Soul Survivor's going great. And Harley Manelli almost never misses. It's a race where every runner is definitely some hope of finishing top 3. Great race, 4, 7, 3, 2.
I will go 3, 7, 4 and 2 with 3 Weston Nugget on top. His last two have been a little bit disappointing over the 7:15, but he's been running into some talented chasers. We know how quick he is in the past. He's got a personal best of 34.60 over the trip, and he's come from behind when doing that. It's a field that's a lot of pace, and there could be some early and hustle and bustle. I think he might get a beautiful run here, Weston Nugget. For second, 7 Carter Axelrod. He's been in outstanding form. He's won his last 4, including a track record. For third, 4 Argyle Queen. She's run some nice races. Ran second in a Group 3 behind Chloe Ant when only beaten ahead on the line. And for fourth, I'll throw in 2 Penny Magic, who does have a good record over the trip. 3, 7, 4 and 2, race number 6.
One thing I know is Jay Jacobson letting Carter Axelrod go to make room for a couple of pups. The pups must be good, Shorty.
The pups, by all reports, are going very nicely, Pete. Rip and Memphis, of course, we remember her deeds on the racetrack. Looks like she's going to make a very nice mum.
Yeah, good luck. We're looking forward to them hitting the track. Carter Axelrod, I'm tipping on top, so forget about number 3, Weston Nugget. Chasing extremely well. I don't mind the fact that he's drawn out wide. Number 1, Jamie Keeping. Good, excellent record from box number 1, and it's going to be right on the speed. Number 3, Weston Nugget will be running on, and 4 Argyle Queen, 7, 1, 3 and 4. Race 7 over the 600, no market up at the moment. Sneaky Emoji should be very hard to beat. One from this draw, going back 3 starts ago from this box. Number 3, Pudding Manelli, a greyhound who's been knocking on the door. Number 2, Molfetta Cruz, Sandy Basser, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no market up here. I'm going to spec number 2 here, Molfetta Cruz. Just go back to those runs 4 and 5 starts ago at Mandurah in top grade. The win where it defeated Sunset Frazier was outstanding, and it's always looked like the sort of dog, being by Zach Manelli, that this distance would be up its alley. So I'm happy enough to be with Molfetta Cruz. It should be a price. I'll have something each way on spec. From number 5, Sneaky Emoji, was with this dog last week. It was just a horror watch. Quite simply, if it can steer clear of trouble and get a good look at the arm, it's the fastest dog in the race, along with 3, Pudding Manelli. Just sometimes zigs when it needs to zag in recent times, runs a lot of placings. And I'll round it out with 1 in Sandy Basser, who's really hitting its straps for Cosy D'Agostino. 2 each way from 5, 3 and 1.
I'll go 5, 2, 3, 1. 5 Sneaky Emoji on top. We let the punters down last week. It was the same race as Molfetta Cruz, and they sort of got in each other's way. Thought Sneaky Emoji, if with his best jump, you might be able to land on top here and be pretty prominent. From 2, Molfetta Cruz. Forget the run last week. For third, 3, Pudding Manelli's racing well. And for fourth, I'll throw in 1, Sandy Basser as a winner over the trip in City Class Novice Company. 5, 2, 3, 1, race number 7.
Race number 8 over the 380 metres. Really good money for number 8, Speedy Genie, from $3.50, $3.60, in fact, into $3 when the money comes for a Shane Williams trained greyhound. I'll be jumping aboard. I know that she hasn't won from box number 8, but the speed and the way the race maps here, Shorty, it looks like she's going to be able to get across from the wide draw.
I certainly hope so. I like the way she's going at the moment, and while she hasn't won from box 8, she's been placed 6 of 7 from the draw, and from box 7, 4 starts for 3 wins. So all of those, when you add them together, let you know that she's not disadvantaged being drawn off the track here. 3 and 4 starts ago, she was winning in 22 and 13 down at Mandurah. That's a hot, hot run. And 22.39 prior to that from the wide draw, beating Sunset Blackhawk, who we know is a really good high-grade chaser. So happy to be with Speedy Genie. 7 paid in full is likely to be the dog, giving it a nice card over as well. It's got that good early pace. So I'll go 8 on top, make it one of my better bets of the night. From 2, Fizzy Chrissy gets a good look from the inside. 7 paid in full. Hard to knock what this dog's been doing of late. And 1, Mohican Mistress for Maxi. Normally when his dogs draw inside, he cashes in, Maxi, and this dog's got a great box 1 record. 8 starts, 3 wins, 3 placings. 8, 2, 7, 1.
I'll go 7, 8, 2, 8217. Paid in full on top. Was a good winner in Country Class Company, 2187. Does like the wide draws. 2 wins from Boxade from 2 starts. He's racing well through the grades. He finished 4th in a heat of the Sprinters Plate, where he was completely outclassed and giving up a lot of experience. He's only had the 8 starts. For second, 8, Speedy Genie Greyhound is very quick on her night. For third, number 2 in Fizzy Chrissy. And for fourth, I'll throw in 1 Mohican Mistress. 7821, race number 8.
Exactly the same way for me as Shorty. 8, 2, 7 and 1 Speedy Genie to get across and lead and win. Race number 9, a maiden over the 520. No markets up at the moment. Now See Here was well supported, and from box number 8 ran 3rd on Wednesday. I'm going to put him on top from number 7, Miss Envy, who's been trialling well. Didn't have a lot of luck on debut. 8, Capadora's got ability, and 2, Quick Lands. 1, 7, 8, 2.
1, 7, 5 and 8 for me, Pete. 1 on top, Now See Here. Good draw. Jamie Marsh, clever trainer. Gets its chance. Miss Envy from out of a wonderful producer. She won't take long to knock over the maiden. 5, Gnarly Nala. Been around the place of late. And Capadora next best, 1, 7, 5, 8.
I'll go 7, 1, 2 and 8 with number 7 on top in Miss Envy. Won a qualifying trial in 30 and 15. That's pretty competitive time. From number 1, Now See Here. For third, 2, Quick Lands will be getting back and running on. Same 2, number 4 in Night Fright. 7, 1, 2, 4, race number 9.
And no market up for the last, but Passing Clouds was well supported last start and was able to topple Timon Lane. So I'm going that way again. Passing Clouds to win from 1, Timon Lane, 7, Marathon, and 4, Coco Shimmer. 8, 1, 7 and 4, Shorty in race 10.
Yeah, I'll make number 8 a special. I like the way it finished its race off last week. You'd think it would improve for that particular outing. From number 1, Timon Lane. Probably not the ideal draw. It'll be getting cluttered, and just got to hope that the dog gets a good look at them. 7, Marathon. A lot of respect for Kevin Phillips up to this distance for the first time. It'll be fit and ready to fire. And I'll include number 5 in Go Get 'em Greta next best. 8, 1, 7, 5.
8, 1, 4, 2 for me.
So just repeat your tips in the last there, Jesse, and then we'll get your best in a quaddie, please.
8, 1, 4, 2, 8. Passing Clouds was a good winner last week. Front 1, Timon Lane. Greyhound has got a lot of ability, but doesn't show it at the right stages. For third, 4, Coco Shimmer, and fourth, 2, Craving Kuna. 8, 1, 4, 2. For the best bets, race 3, number 2, Sunset Fraser. Race 6, number 3, West on Nugget. And race 7, number 7, Paid in Full. Quaddie 3, 4, 2, 3, 7 the second leg, 2, 3, 5 the third leg, 1, 7, 8. What about yourself there, Shorty?
Best bets on the program for me. Race 3, number 8, Hinto Each Way with a 2 and 8 Quinella there. Race 5, number 3, West on Booney. Race 8, number 8, Speedy Genie. And race 10, number 8, Passing Clouds. My quaddie play for a Saturday night. First leg, 1, 3 and 4. Second leg, 2, 3, 4, 7. Third leg, 2, 3, 5. Home with 1, 2, 7, 8. 144 for a full unit. Just under $15 gets you 10%.
First, there's the first 4 races tonight at Mandurah, Shorty. There's 4 extra super picks with Tab Touch, so don't forget to get involved there. And also, favourite numbers has jackpot this weekend. Last weekend, Shorty, one person spent $5 on 10 50-cent mystery bets, and they won $50,000 with favourite numbers.
I can tell you what they did. They put it all on your Greyhound on Saturday. Apple Crumble. He caved in.
No, that was Chris Holtz, I think. So that was his best of the night. So, yeah, good luck anyway.
Beautiful. Well done to those people. And you can play for as little as 50 cents. So you think, oh, there's no way I'll win only having a 50-cent ticket. There's a great example that you can.
Yeah.
My sister won twice on the same day with a 50-cent ticket. So there you go.
On favourite numbers.
On favourite numbers, yes.
There you go. There you go. Good luck, punters. I'll be trying, Pete.
That's Chasing Winners for this Friday morning. Hopefully we found you a winner or two. We'll take a break. Matt McDermott will be with you after this.